What's happening, guys? Sam Adams here, and I hope this video finds you well. On today's episode of my podcast, The Jam Pack Report, we talked about the DualSense, the brand new next generation controller that is going to be paired with the PlayStation 5. But I wanted to make this its own video because I really want to drive home a point that I made on today's program. And that is that by looking at the controllers that have already been revealed for the next generation of consoles, we can get a better understanding of exactly how the next generation is going to go, at least over the course of the first few years, because you have two very definitive approaches coming from PlayStation and from Xbox, and you can see it through their design choices. So, for those that don't know, this is the DualSense. This is your next generation PlayStation controller. On the front, you see a new style of a home button. Below that, there is now a built-in microphone, and you can assume that is going to be the mute button as well. You see we still have the built-in speaker. On top of that, the touchpad is also still present, although slightly redesigned, and now the light bar surrounds the touchpad with a kind of cutout design for the sides. On the top, you see newly designed shoulder buttons that are a bit more ergonomic, more fitting for the finger, if you will. And then you see a more minimalistic approach to the start and share buttons. And it's worth mentioning the share button is now called the create button because there are going to be more tools announced in the future. Overall, new color tones as well. You have white on black, which is something that I can't say I've ever seen from a first-party controller right out of the gate. This is what's going to be paired with the PlayStation 5, and it's also worth mentioning you can probably expect this style, this color scheme to be applicable to the console itself in the future, as we expect to release sometime in the next few weeks for more information. So that's what we've got. This speaks innovation. This is something that's new. It's a new name, DualSense, for a new controller that takes inspiration from the controllers that have come before. And while it's in the same family as a DualShock, it's quite clearly not the same DualShock we've been using all the way from DualShock 1 through DualShock 4. Now, talking about the Xbox Series X controller, this is something that is familiar. This is something that builds on the foundation that the Xbox One laid down. You can see that there is a brand new share button in the middle of the controller. On top of that, the design has been minimized a bit. It's simplified. It's something that is sleek. It's a beautiful controller. And on top of that, there has been some added utility with a redesign for the grips. But by and large, this is the same design that we see for the Xbox One. There isn't a lot changing here. And albeit it's a good foundation to build on, there still isn't much innovation. Instead, this is iteration. And that's it. The next generation isn't going to be defined by any specific big perk. It's going to be designed and defined by innovation versus iteration. Innovation from the PlayStation side, where you have something new, something fresh, you have new ideas, and you have new experiments with haptic feedback, with adaptive triggers that are supposedly going to change the gameplay experience. And on top of that, you have stuff like a built-in microphone that adds added utility. Then you have the iteration, where you have something that is iterated upon. You have a new style, a new approach, but it is ultimately the exact same kind of experience. And that is a good experience in and of itself. Now, I'm not making this video to say that either side is going to win the console wars. Quite frankly, I think that if you are satisfied where you play your game, then you are winning. You are where you need to be. I love Xbox and I love PlayStation. Do I think that the DualSense is going to bring something new to the table? Absolutely. And as I said in today's podcast, it really does depend if developers adopt these new tools that the DualSense is going to be presenting to players and to developers to integrate into their games. But that is, in and of itself, the next generation. It's going to be innovation versus iteration. Neither side is necessarily wrong, but which one comes out on top? That's yet to be seen. However, I love both designs. I think both are beautiful controllers, and I cannot wait to get into the next generation. But in the comment section down below, let me know what you think about these new designs. I would love to hear your thoughts, but I just had some more that I wanted to say about these new reveals that are making their rounds today. I love covering gaming news. But I'll talk to you on the next video. Of course, you can check out the podcast. Links for everything are down below. But I will talk to you soon, and peace.